people might be mad. I made Vito Arujau the #1 pound-for-pound freestyle wrestler in America in my domestic men's freestyle rankings.
Well, no surprise. You are a Spencer Lee hater.
That is absolutely not true.
I think Spencer should be the #1, personally. I think just the status of making an Olympic team is not being considered here, and I think it should be.
Was considered.
Not enough. Oh, I think we need to edit those.
I like the style.
I know. I put it in this. I know. I put it in the Slack. For some reason, on the pound for pound, it didn't work, but on the weights, it did.
Oh, weird.
Thanks, product team.
It's getting worked on.
But yeah, I think Spencer, Olympic silver, it would be enough. I think, you could go back and look. They did wrestle. It was a long time ago. Can you consider that maybe?
2019, 6 years ago.
It was senior level wrestling. We have the comparative Ono match where one was totally non-competitive and the other one was controversial, if not close. Was close and sort of controversial. Yeah, so I think Spencer is the rightful #1, and I think deep down if they were to wrestle, what would happen?
Well, what weight would they wrestle?
Yeah, because if it's at 61, Vito's clearly ideal weight. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, because that's the argument to
Catch weight.
That's the argument to Ono coming down. I mean, in wrestling Spencer, he's wrestling Spencer at a weight that isn't his ideal weight, 59 whatever kilos.
Not according to Ono, it's not.
Well, I mean, all signs for Ono's career has shown that he's best at 61. When he wrestled 65, he lost. When he wrestled 59, he doesn't have the same point scoring.
He's wrestled one match at that weight class.
Yeah,
and he's wrestled Spencer Lee.
Yeah, he's a world champion though at 61 kilograms, where he killed everyone. Not at 59.
The obvious conclusion I reach is that Spencer is better than Vito Arujau and Zaur Ogoyev.
But what wins has shown that in the last 2 years?
Not everything boils down to the wins. It's just what my eyes say.
Well, what about when he only scored what he only beat Zhao by 1 point?
He's undefeated against Zhao. Zhao is oddly...
Matchups matter, right?
Yes, they do. And I think the matchup with Vito is good for Spencer.
Okay.
I try when I'm just doing rankings, pound for pound, you have to do a little bit of guesswork, and I just think this guy's better. Eyeball test, right? Obviously, yes. But I try to also bring in data to these rankings and actual results, not just vibes. And it's Vito's wins over Abaskhadze and Ugoyev that gave him the pound for pound #1 spot. 2 wins, better than any wins Spencer has in his international career in the past 2 years. And the fact that Vito has only lost to Ono, aka the same guy that also beat Spencer Lee in the past 2 years. Now, do I think if they were to wrestle at 59 kilos, would Spencer Lee be my pick? Probably. But when it comes to rankings, and you have to do some sort of data, and Vito reached the top of the podium at his ideal weight class, something Spencer Lee did not do. And you could argue 61 is a tougher weight class because it had guys like Abaskhadze and Ugoyev and Ono in it. Not enough grown men can make 57.
What's Ogoyev right now?
Ugoyev?
In reality, what do we really think?
I think he's an Olympic champion.
Where?
57.
Okay, so if you're going to talk about ideal weights, you can't talk about this is clearly not his ideal weight, but you're giving him the 57 kilogram Olympic champion win at his non-ideal weight.
I think he's also like a world medalist caliber guy at 61.
But I do agree that you're taking guys that are best at 57 and then saying when Vito beats them when they're at 61, therefore he's as good as they were at 57.
I said that with one guy.
Well, and then
Abaskhadze is the best at 61.
Yeah, I lean towards Spencer without getting into the weeds of all the transitive wins and all that stuff, just because he did it at a much bigger, much tougher stage at the Olympics. And then when
Tougher is debatable, because if you look at the actual bracket,
No, I think the Olympics are
no.
just a bigger stage than a non-Olympic weight.
Yeah.
World
Bigger
Championship.
stage, yes, but you can argue tougher.
More people are going towards that 57 than are going towards the 61 worlds. It's just going to attract more competition. You
can't.
All the back and forth and all that stuff to me just kind of fades to the background. And then I would say it matters that Spencer's at a weight class that clears out and he's still at 57, and that guys can't hold 57. So just looking at who's the most dominant at the weight class there are now, because I saw you got Kyle Dake below Zahid because of one tournament with Kyle Dake at 86. 86 is not his best weight class. If you're looking at all the accomplishments, Kyle Dake, if he just goes to 79 for World Team Trials, is he back above Zahid because he's probably going to win gold there? So I don't know. Just looking at more of a vibes-based, I just go, the guy that got Olympic silver and is right now looks to be the most dominant American at his weight class worldwide.
Vito is just as dominant at his ideal weight class. They both lost to a Japanese wrestler in the finals.
Higuchi's not at 57 anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
But Ono is still at 61. So you got Vito not dominant.
Maybe he's not this year.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at, so go to 2023 where Vito blitzes through the world championships. And at that point in time, there would be no argument who's better in pound for pound, right? In freestyle, it's Vito is over Spencer at that point. Since then, they have only lost to the same wrestler, and Spencer also lost to Ray Higuchi, who Vito didn't wrestle. And Vito maybe has arguably had a better win in Uguyev. Like, what's Spencer's best win in that time frame? Gilman.
Well, yeah, and what did
Right?
Thomas Gilman do to Vito Arujau literally every single time they wrestled?
Here's actually the interesting part of it.
Massacred Vito every time.
Not massacred.
Massacre. Oh, my gosh. 2022 Final X?
No.
Go look up those. Did you watch those matches?
No.
Why not? Those were not
the
close.
interesting part we're not saying is Vito's actually helped in this by not even attempting to make the Olympic team at 57, because I think most of us would agree, like, there's a good chance he doesn't make the team.
If he goes up to 65 or tries to suck down to 57, now you're taking losses that you're adding into the
Right.
whole
If he goes
debate
down
between
and
the
loses
P
in the
for P.
57 kilogram bracket, like, then okay, yeah, Spencer is, but he didn't even try, so he didn't
He
come down.
Wasn't in
but
the
I don't
Olympic
want to
streaks.
hurt a guy too
Yeah,
much.
he
He's clearly a tweener. 61 is clearly his best weight class. So I don't want to punish him for being a victim of six weights.
Yeah.
And he didn't even try to make the Olympics
Right.
this year. But I think there is a little bit of a you're giving him too much of a pass. Like, oh, he's not a functional 57. This guy made the Olympic trials finals in 2021. He made final X in 2022 at 57 kilograms. We're just pretending, we're just inventing this narrative that he is not good at this weight class where he has beaten so many elite guys.
That's almost more of an argument for him. The fact that he can go to his non-ideal weight class and beat these guys.
Okay, so but you're ignoring the commonality that they have at 57 kilograms, and that Spencer smashed him, and that he smashed,
6 years ago,
that he beat Gilman.
You're also ignoring, though, that Vito made the U23 world team and then goes to Worlds, and he can't wrestle to that level because of the weight cut, because of 57. So
But that doesn't hurt his
there
ranking
is-
that he DMP'd at U23 World.
But there's that. But that's the evidence too that 57 kilograms isn't his ideal weight class, and it continues to be reinforced by the fact that he didn't even try to wrestle at the Olympic trials, because as he gets close to that weight, his body shuts down, and then once he wrestles 61, he's one of the best in the world. So it's
body
like
shuts down. I think this is like,
dude, that's what
crazy coke.
That's what he talks about. That's what he said. His injury that he was dealing with, it
with the
progressed.
injury. Yeah.
And he couldn't.
Well, okay, that's separate. The idea that he cannot forget the injury. The idea that he cannot be a functional 57 is not true.
I don't think we see him wrestle 57 again.
Maybe not.
I think
I
he
don't
goes,
think so either.
I think he goes 65, and I think he has success there.
He is a
He
large human being for.
He teched the current number 7 in the world at 65 kilograms. Abis Gadzi was top 10 at 65. Zumishbek Ulu from Kyrgyzstan is like 7th or 8th right now. And Vito teched him at 2023 Worlds. So like you can continue, you can take that data and see that Vito has really dominant success against guys who are now wrestling 65 kilograms. So, like, you can make arguments both ways.
Well, I think pound for pound should take in a wider breadth of data, and it seems like you guys are just picking and choosing what should apply and should not apply to Vito, and also you're keeping a narrow time frame, but also ignoring that he hasn't wrestled in almost a year.
Well, if you want to go wide time frame, Spencer didn't wrestle in those years. Vito was in the streets too.
In 2019, he
in
did.
2021, when you're citing about him losing to Thomas Gilman, Spencer wasn't even there.
Right.
So what's the time frame?
Well, that's
Right?
what
Maybe Spencer would have lost to Thomas then.
That's what I'm trying to understand. What is the time
Like
frame?
2 years, 3 years.
Okay.
I think, look, it's going through all the data and getting this into the nitty gritty. I think is awesome, and I think it's fun that we're all able to push back on all these other things. But also for me, I don't know, pound for pound, especially international, where guys don't wrestle all that much. There's no season; they hardly ever see anyone. It's far more like just take a 1,000-foot view and be like, okay, who do you feel most confident about right now? And at the weight that they're going, if that's how you're going to do it, not just like overall, regardless of weight class. And I feel like Spencer is in a little bit better place, but also Vito is accomplished enough where I don't begrudge him the number one. And I think he's a very honorable and good pick for number one. But too much of, well, this weight class at this year at that thing, to me, it just kind of loses sight of like, hey, this is international pound for pound. There's no perfect answer.
Yeah.
The answer probably is Kyle Dake in reality.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost to Zahid Valencia. Now he's behind all. I mean, he's made every team since 18. He's brought a medal back every single time.
Multiple-time world champion.
Multiple world champion, Olympic bronze twice.
Yeah, it just feels weird to keep him at number one if he just comes
lost.
off a win. And like if that's the weight he's going to
If he goes down 79, he might bounce back up. But
Yeah, Kyle is the only time he's ever missed is when he like couldn't make a weight because of Jordan Burroughs or then Jaden Cox.
He hasn't missed a team since 2017.
That's crazy.
And then
And he hasn't missed the team yet. You know, I'm not counting him out. He might not make the team, but I wouldn't count him out.
Yeah.
What if Jax Force takes a match from Vito?
Yeah, then it's new discussion. Spencer rolls through Luke Liddell 2 matches. Yeah, it might be Spencer.
Yeah. I still want to see Spencer against more international wrestlers. Like
Yeah.
we haven't seen even the Olympics. It's like he had 4 matches and a couple of them were competitive.
He's not going to get great matches because guys don't stay at 57.
Yeah.
And guys don't go on like runs.
That's a pretty recent thing. Guys not staying. I mean, 57 historically has been a really deep, tough weight class.
Yeah.
I wonder too if
it could be a little cyclical. Everyone's just saying.
Yeah.
Everyone's just acting like 57 is just not a non-weight anymore. I just think it's coincidental timing and everything comes back around.
This year feels too like the exodus of guys from weights and retiring is magnified even more because we saw so many guys stay around in 21 and continue on for another quad when maybe if it was normal and wasn't the COVID quad that maybe they just would have called it quits and would have retired. So I think it's magnified a little bit more this year, but it feels like maybe if Spencer and Vito both go on runs, win worlds, maybe that's the next FloWrestling Night in America headliner.
Now we're talking.
Who?
Spencer Vito, baby.
Oh yeah. Well, now they're training together.
They're training together?
Spencer said that on a TikTok.
No, we need to stop that.
I know.
Make them enemies? No friends. No friends allowed.
Let's see if I can find out who won those goes. Go back and score them.
All right.